Hello, it's me again. I haven't been on here for a while, and I thought I would film a proof of life video that I didn't go anywhere. I've just been busy. So I have a cup of coffee, and I have some whips and some framed pieces, and I thought I would just take a chance to film something real quick. I don't know how long it'll take. I could have done a ton more, but you know, I haven't filmed one since March. My last video was with and I've already said 18 million times, like it's the first time filming, but whatever, you can deal with it. The last one I did was with the Wandering Stitcher at Market, and I was in Ohio picking up my the patterns I bought at Market for my website, and she and I did a spontaneous video in my hotel room. And I didn't think I would go the whole summer without doing another one, but apparently I have. It's almost fall. School starts next week for my only one left in school. We did back to school shopping for clothes the other day, which means he made me drive him downstate to an outlet mall that's 2.5 hours away. So it was a whole day where I didn't get any work done, but we had fun. And he set up for the school year, and you know, now I'm just busy with an insane amount of linen orders from shops and for retreats and exclusives and all that jazz. I'm not going to really go into work updates much. If you order on my website, right now it's kind of taking it is taking a long time, or it has been taking a long time, just because of so much is going on with shops during the summer that the orders are insane. So if you're waiting on an order, it will be coming soon. I'm trying to get those out in between the shop orders, but especially with these exclusives and stuff, you know, sometimes I'm dyeing the same color day after day after day, and I don't get to the colors that people have ordered, or the shops haven't ordered the colors that people have ordered, but they will get out. I don't have a large, overwhelming number of customer orders right now, so I'm trying to really filter those in and get those out the door and whittle them down so that I can do some more stock for my shop and put on Instagram when I have linens available to buy. Right now I don't have time for pre-orders, but there's quite a few oh my gosh, words totally leave my brain when I turn this on. There's quite a few of the online market releases that are on needle and flax linen, so I'm really going to try to do some batches of those colors, announce on my Instagram that they are ready to ship, not do pre-orders, but ready to ship, so that you guys can get your hands on some of the called for colors for the patterns being released. And shops are ordering them, but the shops just sell out of linen quickly, so you kind of just got to catch them when you can, or call your local needlework shop and find out if they're getting any in, or if they have any on order, and put your name in. So, you know, basically I'm just trying to say it's not that hard to find my linen, but you got to maybe do a little bit of work, just because I don't know, people are linen hoarding lately, and so linen is rough to get, and I'm only one human. So okay, my background's a little weird because what I decided to do was show you anything that I've kind of touched and put stitches in since March. And then I have some framed stuff to show you. So I needed to be at my dining room table, which is 10 feet long. And so I have a, you know, a slider in the way and junk, whatever. It doesn't matter. It just matters that I hopped on, right? So I've also had, I'm going to say this before I get going with the stitching, I've also had a lot of people ask me about the First Lady series. I have not given up on that. I just haven't had time. I haven't had time for a regular Flosstube, and I haven't had time to do a history video. So Dolly Madison, like I said, I had filmed it before. I forgot a few things. I ended up deleting the video. I need to redo it, but it's ready to go. So I'm really hoping, I'm going to 2 retreats at Hobby House in October. And I know people are going to ask me about it there, because every time I go to a retreat, people ask. And I thought, oh, I got to get at least 1 or 2 episodes in before I do that. And then, you know, people won't be, oh, I can't wait for the next one. I'm just trying to, you know. So I will, because I can't wait to get some of these ladies farther down the line. And I've only done Martha Washington and Abigail Adams so far. So Let's see. Since March, I've done a couple of friend retreats. One here in Michigan, right down the street from my house. We rented an Airbnb and had a group of friends get together. That was really fun. Thought I would get some stitching done there. Did not. And then I went to Ohio and got a group of friends together at the Golden Lamb, and I stayed there for 5 days, and which is a fantastic hotel to stay in. I've never slept better in my life. And I had a really fun group of people there that were different people that came from Michigan. There was a couple of crossovers that had gone to both, but it was really fun to catch up with friends that I don't get to see in person. And went to a few concerts with my girls this summer. Yeah, I don't, after my 2 hobby house retreats in October, the traveling is going to kind of come to a halt until next spring. So I will be home and hopefully have some more time for stitching. Because I live where it snows, you kind of got to take advantage of the warm weather, because we like to drive when we do trips, and doing that in a blizzard is not fun, or snow or ice. So I tend to do more of my traveling in the summer, which also happens to be when shops are extra busy. Go figure. So I have coffee as usual. I definitely need it today because I'm a little rusty at this. Where am I going to start? Where do I start with this video? Okay. Well, let's start with, okay. I'm thinking to myself while I'm talking. It's not going well. Okay, so I was going to do a WIP parade, and I have all that stuff in a bucket. I didn't get all of my WIPs together because that's just insanity. And then when I sat down today to do this video, I decided to just grab stuff that was kind of in my basket that I've worked on, and I will save the WIP parade for one of my next videos. Since I'm not getting a lot of stitching done, I'm mostly working like every day of the week. So I'm going to start with some framed stuff because, like, see, now there's my Valley Girl coming out. Like, I totally went to an estate sale a couple months ago. I went to an estate sale that was local because I had looked at some of the preview pictures and I could tell that the woman was a stitcher. There was a lot of older stuff, but you just never know. Like, when you see stuff like that, like, you may, the likes, oh my gosh. I don't know, I'm going to edit this out. Okay, I'm not. Okay. So, you never know when you go to an estate sale and there is stitching, needlepoint, stuff like that. Even if you're looking and the patterns are older or things look outdated, you just never know what you're going to find. You might find some out-of-date blackbird, out-of-print blackbirds. You may find a queen hoop. You just never know. So I was like, well, I'm going to hit this one. So I went early, got in line. Surprisingly, there was stitching on the walls. There was not really any patterns. I think the woman was probably a stitcher and was very specific about what she stitched, and that was kind of all she had in her house because there were some pieces hanging up. Now, I will buy other people's finished stitching if it is something that I would stitch myself and I just want to tick off the list, right? So I have bought Prairie Schooler Santas before, like, that I haven't gotten to yet, because who knows if I could ever do all of those. I'm not someone that'll just save the stitches because I know the work that went into it. I have to really like it and think, gosh, I would really stitch that. So I'm going to show you the couple things that I bought, which is going to lead into a framing story. Okay, so this lady she had a patriotic room. So she had some patriotic pieces that she had stitched, and I'm not going to know the names of the patterns either, just FYI. If you really want me to figure it out, I can message you, but we're just trying to get a video done. Okay, so she had these Prairie Schoolers, and it's on Ada. It is actually, look at the back, very well stitched, unframed. She had both pieces, and I've always wanted to stitch these, and I thought, well, why am I going to stitch them? I'll just frame those, right? Look at the back. They're on Oatmeal Ada, which was totally my jam in the 90s and early 2000s. Fantastic. You know, I kind of feel like I should have more light here. I think I'm going to pause this and put a stitching light here and see if, hold on a minute. Okay, now you're going to be able to see stuff in my, I think this helps a little bit. Okay. You know, whatever. Let's see. I'm going to show these again. Yeah, they show it better with the light around here. Okay, so I got this one and this one, and they were $4 a piece. So the other piece I got was already framed, and it's a I know it's a Hindsight pattern, and it's a little dated. It's going to be big, so hopefully I can get this in the frame, camera, whatever. Okay, so I got those $4, and I thought for $4, I don't need to stitch them. Now how am I going to do this? Hold on, I'm going to see my back. Okay, so this one was in this lady's, her guest room was red, white, and blue. And she had it hanging up there, and they wanted $60 for it, which I felt was fair because of the frame, the time. It's just so cute. It's a little dated, but for some reason, totally spoke to me. Do I have a place to put it? No, I do not. Eventually, I will hang this up, or possibly hang it up in the summer. So let's see. Oh, it's big. Okay, so this is... It's got glare on it, but look at the edge of, look at that frame. It's got flags all the way around it. Ooh. So I loved it. It's a wood frame. It's got matting, so it's a bit dated, but I love it. Just the framing alone, you know, is worth $60. So that pumped me up pretty good. As you're looking at the back of my head, I just don't want this thing to fall. Hang on. All right. Oh gosh, I went dark. You know, I'm coming back into this video doing really well. Good God, this is gonna be a mess, but that's okay. That's okay, because we're just chatting. This is not a professional deal, and I am not a professional. I need coffee after that one. Okay, so there were two other pieces that were unframed that I really liked that I would stitch. And I think they were like $8 or $10 a piece, very inexpensive. So what I decided to do, and this is kind of going to go into my framing thing. One thing I finished since we last talked was my American Sampler by Plum Street. That was like 2 or 3 years in the making. Just because I rarely picked it up, but I loved it. And so when I finished it, I really wanted to get it framed. And rather than mailing out my stitching to like Total Framing or one of the other framers that will let you mail their pieces, I thought, I don't have a local framer. What if I try and do a little experiment and do my Michaels and my Hobby Lobby and send some stuff to both and just kind of see how it goes? So I'm going to explain to you, and what was perfect about it, I don't know if I'm making this clear. So I had these two pieces that I bought at this estate sale, and I thought, well, perfect. Those are perfect because I'd love to see them on a wall, and I don't have a lot of emotional investment in them. So I'll use those two pieces as part of sort of my test, right? So I took the two pieces I bought at the estate sale to Michael's, and then I took my American Sampler to Hobby Lobby. And I learned a few things. Now, years ago, over 20 years ago, when I lived in Vegas, I used Michael's. Prior to that, in California, I used Aaron Brothers, chain places, but I still used them. When I lived in Vegas, I don't even know if that Michael's is still there. I think it was on Lake Mead, for those of you Michael's people, kind of near Summerlin. Anyway, they did a really great job. And I would wait for a sale, but it was still incredibly expensive. Like, you couldn't get something framed for less than $100. So I didn't do it a lot because I was either getting ready to have babies, or that's where I had my first 2 kids, and, you know, money was tight. So, but they did a fantastic job. I think when you use the chain stores, it just depends on who they have hired there. As far as whether the framer is good, which is kind of what I wanted to test here in Northern Michigan. I found that Michael's now has, I I think maybe a better frame selection, slightly better than Hobby Lobby. I went in when they were both having sales. I think Michael's was way more expensive than Hobby Lobby. And I will show you what I think in a minute. So first I'll show you the Michael's ones. Ugh. So I go in there with these two pieces. One is on Aida and one is on an even weave. And they were pretty well ironed, but I had also taken my American Sampler, which had a few wrinkles in it. I had ironed it, but it still had a few wrinkles that I thought you could pull out when you're, when you're tightening it, these are going to pull out. So I first went into Michael's and I showed them the American Sampler, and the lady was like, we can't get any wrinkles out. It's not possible with needlework. And I was like, ding, 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 red flag. I was like, yeah, I framed my own stuff. Totally possible. No, we just can't do it. So I was like, all right, that one's going to Hobby Lobby. I'll give you the flatter ones that kind of looked like, I mean, this lady was way more organized than me. It was all, ironed out and laid out nice. So these didn't really have wrinkles. The first one is by City Stitcher, and I picked a frame that I actually really like. Now this is the framing piece that I'm probably least happy with, but it's good enough and it gets it on the wall. I told them I wanted it really tight, like a 1/4 inch, margin around the stitched piece. Regular glass, not museum glass. And I think it's a little tight. I mean, she butted it right up to the frame. Now, it's still cute. It's still fine. It's a little cockeyed, not horrible. I didn't stitch it. I just thought this would be really cute hanging up like in the winter. It's kind of cozy, kind of country, kind of cute. Don't know where I'm going to put this one yet. The lady was a phenomenal stitcher. And I do like this frame, right? So this is the first one from Michael's. Now I asked when I dropped them off, I said, how do you mount your needlework? And she said that they pin and use stitcher's tape on the back of foam core. So these are pinned. Okay, so that is the first one. Now this one, I loved the frame. Loved the piece, loved the frame. It was done on even weave. And this is a Cricut collection, cross-eyed Cricut collection, older piece. I love this. I love the frame. I love the stitch piece. I cannot wait to have this hanging up all winter because it's so cozy to me. Okay, so this is the piece. I'm trying not to, I didn't get like museum glass, so you don't need reflection of my disaster of a living room. So it's a wood frame. I love this wood frame. And it was stitched so well. It's for the most part pretty straight. It's a little off, but it gets it up on the wall. And I love this piece. I love this piece. Love it. This might make me more excited than the American Sampler. So then Hobby Lobby is next door to Michael's. So then I zip over to Hobby Lobby and I dropped off American Sampler by Plum Street. I asked them, I said, so how do you do your, I feel like my light's dying now. Gosh, this is going to be a train wreck. So I said, how do you mount your needlework? They told me that their corporate offices require their needlework to be laced. So they are required to lace. The lady that framed it said she used to be able to pin and do stitcher's tape, sort of like Michael's, but they are not allowed to do that anymore. They have to lace all needlework pieces. So she was kind of complaining because she says, God, that's so rough. It's so hard to get it straight. It's so hard to, it takes so much longer than just pinning it. And I was like, So she said that's a corporate thing. Every single Hobby Lobby apparently laces their needlework, which is good because it's a little more meticulous. And it was pretty wrinkled, and I think she did a great job at pulling it. So this is the frame I picked. Okay, so this is and she did a pretty darn good job. It's a slightly cockeyed here, but not terrible. And I think this one looks really nice. Okay, so prices. This one was like $65. The two from Michaels were like $100 a piece, even for that little one. So I'm going to go with Michaels. Now, I have a new puppy too. Hold on a minute. Okay, that could happen again. Also this summer, I got myself a St. Bernard puppy, which would be my second dog. He is 5 months old. Little Winston Churchill, little Winston, and he was sleeping, and now he decided to bark at that slider that's right next to me for no reason. So hopefully he doesn't set off your dogs. I don't even know where I left off. Okay, framing. So Hobby Lobby, Michaels, definitely in my area. Hobby Lobby, better choice. I still may use Michaels because of some of their frame choices, but probably not for anything that's extra special or labor intensive that I'm not going to be real happy if it comes back kind of where. The other thing about Hobby Lobby is they don't charge you until you pick it up and you're happy. Michaels pre-charges you, so you pay for it before it's ever done. They do have you sign off that you're okay with it when you pick it up, but Hobby Lobby takes the piece. They don't charge you till you get back, so if you're not happy, they will redo it or you don't have to pay at all. So, you know, if you have both of those in your area, at least in my area, I feel like my Hobby Lobby is doing a much better job than the Michaels. And again, part of it's staff. Some people, I've seen people with Flosstubes that say they have a fantastic Michaels, a fantastic Joann's framing department, you know, a chain store, and the people that work there are really proficient and experienced. You know, maybe they had their own framing shop at one point and then went to work for a chain. Everyone's going to be different. It's not going to be across the line, but I just thought I would show you my experience with going to the two. So when I was talking about, I'm already 22 minutes into this. Jeez, oh Pete. Okay. So when I was talking about this and I said, I went to this estate sale, I don't mind buying pieces that other people have stitched. There are other times that I have bought other things that people have stitched. And again, it's always buying something that I would have stitched myself or I like enough to stitch, but I'm not sure if I'll ever get to it. So, Kathy Barrick, I don't know if it's maybe once a year. It's every so often. A lot of times she will announce it on her, okay, I'm just going to pull up the glasses because I'm getting reflection. A lot of times on her Instagram, she will notify you that she is selling models in her Etsy shop. She doesn't keep her models. They go with like trunk shows. They go to different shops and travel around once they're done. And then after a period of time, Kathy Barrick sells them. She doesn't keep them. So they will go up in her Etsy shop. And the last time she did it, I bought quite a few. And they're just so cute. And they come framed and, you know, they're just fantastic. So I don't know the patterns because I'm not that prepared, but I'm going to show you some of the ones that I bought last time from Kathy Barrick. So this one is Elizabeth Perkins. It's so super cute. Now hers are not done with glass, so there's no reflection. But just stitching that skirt, no way. But I love this like kind of oddball girl. I love Kathy Barrick's like quirky folk art kind of style, right? This one I don't, oh gosh, there's dust on this one. Been so busy working, I haven't dusted either. This one is a small from, I believe it's called the Arithmetic Sampler by Kathy Barrick. And she had both pieces in the pattern for sale. I bought the smaller one because the large one, I think I might stitch. I probably won't. But there's a possibility I could stitch it. And I knew that I would not ever stitch. Gosh, I can't see without these glasses. So I bought that one. Isn't that cute? I mean, these Kathy Barricks hang on my wall. A couple of them hang right around my desk where I work every day because they're just so pretty to look at. This one, I'm not sure. I don't remember what this one's called. But she does a lot of bird ones. and they're all done in MPI, and the frames are, her frame choices are cute. I saw she did a video with Liz Matthews with their marketplace releases just like last week, and I think they said they get all of their framing done at Michael's. So see, there you go. Their Michael's does a fantastic job. I'm almost positive they said they do all their framing there. So this one is Miss Mary Hadley. I think that's what it's called. Again, the skirt, no way in heck would I ever stitch that. That just looks like a headache. I mean, I would if I didn't have 8 million other things to stitch. But I love this piece. I love the frame. So keep an eye out. If you're on Etsy, follow Kathy Barrick's shop and follow her on Instagram, I think is usually where she posts it, because she will post when she's dumping, selling off her shop models, and they're just fabulous, fabulous. So speaking of framing, I grabbed a few things off my walls that I have shown before. But if you don't want to do framing, one of the great things to do is search thrift shops, go and buy standard frames in standard sizes, and they may not be perfect like a custom frame, but you can frame it yourself and get it done, you know, for under 20 bucks, way under 20 bucks, a little bit of your time and not a lot of money, and you can get your stuff framed. So this one, I think I've shown all of these before because they hang on my walls in different places, and so it's just easy when I'm doing a video to grab what's hanging around me instead of search for stuff I've done a long time ago. So this one is Blackbird Designs. I want to say it's Pleasure of the Fleeting Year. I don't remember. It's one of the Loose Feathers series, the shoot. Of course, I don't remember. You know what just look up Blackbird, you'll find it. So I stitched this one. This is on, I think, 36 count Ren. I did this I did this right when these came out. In fact, all the patterns weren't even out yet. But the frame I put it in is just, you know, it had like a leaf print in it. And what I will do is go to thrift stores, garage sales, whatever. Now I don't do it as much because I have such a big collection out in my garage. But I will buy frames that are odd sizes that aren't necessarily the standard ones you could buy in your craft shop. You know, they're not 8 by 10, 11 by 14, you know. I try to find ones that are odd sizes, and then I save them because usually some kind of cross stitch will come up that I could pop right in one of those frames. And I bought like 4 of these because I liked the frame, and it was just a mass-produced print that was probably at Kohl's or something, and I popped open the back and took out the mass, you know, just the goofy frame. And this is a nice size frame. I could paint them different colors. They came in green, but shoot, I don't even think this cost me $2. So you can keep the glass or not keep the glass because the glass is in there. So this one I've shown before, and this was a Hobby Lobby frame, and it's just in their standard, I think it's a 6 by 6. I had framed this in a dusty gray when I first stitched it. I know I've shown this. I threw it in my closet. Why? Don't ask me why I'm throwing stuff in my closet. I threw it in my closet. And I went in there to get something, and the frame fell down and the glass broke. Well, the frame wasn't expensive, so I wasn't gonna like get new glass cut or anything. I just threw out the frame. And this is Blueskin by Plum Street. And I actually went on to Etsy to Signed and Numbered and decided to get a different colored frame, and I got a chocolate colored frame. And I actually like it better. I had like a dusty gray, and I felt like the horse kind of blended in. And I felt like the chocolate kind of popped out the tree and George and all of that stuff. So that was from, I believe it was Signed and Numbered on Etsy. And you can hang them, or they come with this little stick for the hole to set them up. And I've just had this out in the summer, and it'll be probably tossed back in the closet for the winter. I just don't have wall space to have everything out all the time. And you know, God, the angle I gave myself here gives me the good double chin. Oh my God. If any of you film, you know exactly what I'm dealing with. Okay. This is another just Hobby Lobby. I think it was the 12 by 12, $9.99 frame. And again, they may not be perfect with your margins, but it gets it up on the wall. So if you don't have a budget for framing, you might as well do this. And then if at some point you want it professionally framed, it's not a big deal to pull out. I mean, I probably got this for $5. So this is Sarah Hopwood by the Scarlet House. This is one of my favorite stitched pieces, I would say. It was fun to stitch. I love seeing it on the wall. And I look at it every day. It hangs on my stairs, and you know what? I don't even feel the need to really reframe it because it looks fine. I mean, it would look gorgeous in a fancy frame, but who knows? You just never know with me. You never know what I'm going to end up doing. This is the same exact frame, and this is Hands Across the Sea, Frances Graspy. Shown this before too. Last time it might have had less dust, but you know, so there have been some changes to it. But you know, I mean, it's kind of got large margins, but again, it's got large margins. Oh my God. Oh God, I need coffee. Stop, Rachel. Okay. Let's get serious. Okay. So it's fine. It gets it up on the wall. God, this is when I wish I knew how to edit. Well, I do know how to edit. I just don't want to take the time because I actually have to dye linen tonight. Okay, so my last frame piece was, again, a thrift store frame. The dust did not come with it. Believe it or not, it came out cleaner out of the thrift store. But it had some sort of mass-produced print in it. It was a nice square. I tend to lean towards the squares because they're hard to find in larger sizes in pre-made frames. If you go to Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's, wherever you shop for frames. So I tend to get a lot of the large squares. I like wood. I like ones that I could paint. If it's gold, you can paint it black. If it's silver, if it's, you know, you can basically do whatever you want to it. But this is one of my favorite pieces I ever stitched. And this is Prairie Life by Heartstring, and it's Little House on the Prairie. And I did this the year it came out, like immediately. 2019 is when I finished it. I think that's the market where it came out. And I actually did it on 32 count over 2 because I loved it so much. It was fun to stitch. I goofed up the border. You cannot tell. I think it was it was this corner. I was off a little bit and had to add a stitch or two. Can you tell now? No. So, you know, again, this frame, I guarantee, was $2.99. And it works. It got it up on my wall. And I laced it. Sometimes I put a paper back on them, sometimes I don't. So, you know, oh gosh, hang on a minute. This video is a hot mess. It's okay. It's okay. So now I will show you some stitching. I'm at 33 minutes, so we're doing good. We're doing good. Maybe I'll hit the hour and be done and say, hasta la vista, stitchers. Okay, so what have I touched since last time I filmed? I'm not even completely positive I've touched all these, but they were in my bag. So one of the things that I have put some stitches in, Mary Bailey by the Scarlet Letter. I swear to God, one day I will finish this. One day I will finish this. This is 36 count, I think, antique ivory. So, not a lot, but the heavy stuff, I feel like I have deja vu when I do these videos because I say the same thing all the time. You know, the heavy stitching is all up here, which is what I'm working on. There's a bunch of over one words. This is a lot of heavy stitching. And then down here, this shouldn't be too terribly long to fill in. So this grass is actually quite a bit. Once I get that done, I feel like, you know how when you stitch to a certain point on something and then you just get motivated to like, I'm just going to work on this till it's done. I'm not there yet, but I feel like once a lot of this is done, I'm just going to blow through this because I'll want to see it finished. So you can get that on the Scarlet Letter website, or some other online shops carry Scarlet Letter, like Kitten Stitcher and Victorian Rose and some others. I've contacted her to try and sell her charts on my website, and I've never heard back from her, so who knows? Maybe one day, because I would love to sell her charts, since she's a definite favorite. Okay, so one thing I started, Tara Sullivan, that Sully Stitches girl. She is trouble to watch because she loves Halloween. She loves fall. I've always loved fall and Halloween stitching as well, but she will show finishes and stuff that she's working on and past finishes, and every time I watch a video or talk to her and she tells me what she's working on, I feel like I have to do fall. So there's a couple of things that I've started, not that she's working on them, but because I'm like, oh God, you know, it wasn't on the brain. I watched that video, makes me suddenly want to do everything fall. It's just how it goes. I started Pineberry Lane October 31st because I thought, oh gosh, I have a night to stitch. I bet I can get most of this done. No, I didn't. But really, it would only be a couple nights to get done for me. This is all I did. I don't even know what I am stitching this on. I think it's just a piece of Zweigart Platinum, like nothing overdyed. It was just in my stash. So that's all I have done. But the colors are cute. So that'll be quick. And I will do that. Hold on just a minute. Okay, if I could ever get through a video without an interruption, it would be a friggin' miracle. I had a package delivery, and my other dog is barking. Still. So, 37 minutes. It's like a countdown of my life here. Okay, so I did Pineberry Lane. Oh God. I hope you guys are just glad I did a video, because this is a mess. This is how you're getting me. Okay, so I also started this summer. I didn't think this would be quick, but I thought it would be inspiring, and you know, it inspired me for a couple nights. So I started Lady Liberty by Blackbird Designs, and I did it on this is on Hawthorne, so this is a needle and flax linen, and I happened to have like just a strip that was an end cut of a bolt, and I think it was, anyway, I never take full yards because I need them for customers. So I started the side of, and it's called for colors, the called for DMC, I think, shoot, is it DMC? No, called for overdyes, whatever. And started the side of the drum, and obviously I stopped when, you know, I was getting ready to do these stripes, because I thought, well, that's boring. I don't get a lot of time to stitch. I'm not doing boring stuff. I thought I would take this to one of my get-togethers that I had this summer, because it would be easy to do those flag stripes, and I didn't. I always have grand plans in my head that don't pan out properly. So the other thing I did was Christine Hollis from Hollis Hands Creates always does a summer stitch along where she'll do a patriotic piece from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Every year she gets something amazing done, and I said, oh, I'll join in with you, knowing that there's no way in heck I would get something done by Labor Day, because I just don't get to stitch very much, maybe once a week at most, for a couple hours if I'm not falling asleep. And so I started this, well, I guess before May. It was before Memorial Day that I started, because I thought, well, I can cheat because I don't get that much stitching time. And I always wanted to do the same one that she had picked, which is Liberty's Welcome by Plum Street. And I had finished American Welcome, so I thought, well, why not do another big Paulette? I mean, you know, why not? So I started it. Did not finish it. Probably will not pick it up again until after Christmas, just because I'm in fall zone and I'll be in Christmas zone, and Sampler Zone, and usually after Christmas I start thinking about my patriotic again. So that's how much I got done. Again, I thought which I did. I took this with me with my friend get-togethers, thinking, oh, I can just fill in. This is why I worked this way and moved down to the roof, thinking, oh, I'll just do fill in. And I might have, I don't know, I might have done a little fill in on this when I was in Ohio. I might have. Anyway, this is on Tabby Cat, Just the Ticket, which you can never get a good picture, trust me, a good picture or video of the true color of linen. Even on the cover of patterns, it rarely looks like the called for linen, but this is much more yellowy than what it's showing. It's a very golden colored linen. It's very pretty. It's one of the first pieces she did of Just the Ticket that I got at Hobby House a couple years ago. So, and I have this in I have a berry bag. You know, did I show this? I don't know. I might have shown that. Whatever. Who cares? Okay. I think you guys might regret that I came back to do a video. Okay. So this is a restart. I did this. Actually, I started this right around my birthday. This was going to be my birthday start. And again, I was in Ohio picking up my market releases. And I had bought the threads at Keepsakes. My friend Susan helped me get all of the threads together and find everything at Keepsakes. She's like the thread guru there. And I started it maybe when I can't remember. I don't really think I stitched much. No, I did. I stitched in the hotel room alone one morning. Anyway, yeah, it's a restart. I had started it on... I don't remember. I threw out the start I had before. I was just doing DMC on 40 count cream. I didn't really love it. So I decided to do everything called for, including the linen. And it's a lakeside, let's see, 40 count vintage Meadow Rue. So I am doing it on Meadow Rue with the silk. Oh, so fancy. Okay. So that was a start, and I have not worked on this since March, but I love it. I'm not really doing Sampler September. I said a few years ago in one of my videos that I wish it was Sampler Spring, that I would probably start doing Sampler Spring, because in September I just want to stitch fall, not samplers. I want to get working on fall and Christmas so that stuff is ready for the holidays, and I don't want to do Sampler September, Sampler Soiree, all of that. So I had said, oh, I'm going to do Sampler Spring from now on, and I think, I haven't watched her newest video, but I think I've seen people talking online about, I think Christine Hollis is doing that. I think she's maybe doing, I don't know. I think she had mentioned something very similar about possibly doing samplers in the spring rather than in September, which is not opportune, right? So go watch Christine. I don't know. I have to watch her newest video. I get behind on everybody. And I can't remember. I'm pretty sure she may have a hashtag for that, for like a springtime sampler stitching thing. But yes, I have thought that for a long time. All right, so I have that. I'll work on that before spring. Another start that I had that, again, I thought would be quick. I did not bring with me some of what I wanted to show you. So it's Stranded Jacks by Plum Street. And if you see here, it's not easy to see when you first look at the pattern, but Paulette Stewart from Plum Street, she finished these on little horn books and put them in a bowl. When I first saw the pattern, I thought they were pillows, but they're actually little black horn books, which I did order them on Etsy, and I ordered 3 because I don't think I want to stitch this full coverage one, and I may or may not stitch the pumpkin. I like these 3 the most, with the nautical. We'll see how it goes. I could end up doing this, but then you have an even number of pieces, and that's weird to decorate with. So I'm not sure. The pattern also has the option to stitch these in a row. So you could stitch them all as one piece, but I didn't want to do that. I liked the little horn books. So this is on, again, Lakeside Vintage Meadow Road. That might be the called for. 36 count. And I did one of them. So I have the paddles. I was going to show you the paddles and tell you where I got them. I'll show you that next time I do a video, like 2 years from now. Just kidding. I'll do it, and I'll show you where I got the paddles if you want to do them. Because I think that where she said to buy the paddles, might be Valley House Prim. I don't remember. On the pattern it says, and I don't think they sell them anymore. So I had to find a substitute. So I did that. If I get a chance, I will cut that up and mount it to a board. God, this, oh gosh, this feels like Chinese water torture. I'm so out of practice, you guys. Those of you that do these videos know what I'm talking about, and if you don't know the videos, you actually see what I'm talking about when people do this. Okay, so I worked a little bit on Nantucket Girl Sampler. I think I did this in the spring. Just trying to plug away at it. This is on, I think, Vintage Buttercream by Lakeside, if I'm not mistaken. So this thing looks like it would be super quick, and it is not. It's a lot of stitching. So I just jump around, do what I feel like I'm in the mood for. Well, whatever, there's no rules. Okay, so I did that. I've worked on that a little bit. This one's hard to see just because of, it's a very dull, whatever, I've shown you before. So I did, I have continued to work on Stacy Nash Be Kind sampler, which again, I started a couple of years ago. Have I, finished this not terribly large piece? No, no, I have not. I'm going to hold it up with the little project bag behind it because it's, so this is on 36 Count Up in the Attic by Fox and Rabbit. I've started doing, now inside here are satin stitches, so that'll be what I do last, but definitely you can see the flowers show up more when they have that black center stitched in. So, I've got a bit done. It's actually a very fun border to work on. I'd love to finish this one and get it framed. I think when I saw it at Country Sampler, I can't remember the kind of frame they use. I imagine it with a black frame because it would make that faded look to it really pop. I think it'll stand out more with the black frame. So it'll be framed one day, probably at Hobby Lobby. This one I pick up, I take to every retreat. I will probably take it to Hobby House because there's so much stitching on it. This is A New Constellation by Plum Street. And this is all fill in here. And so I take it all the time thinking, oh, I'll just fill in all that powder blue. Because, I think once that block's done, I'm going to be pretty pumped to get, and then I'll probably be cursing out that flag because that's boring. But, someday I'll get it done. This is Vintage Country Mocha, 40 count. And we now have a dog playing with a toy that has a fake mouse in it. So just ignore everything in my house. So I love stitching on this. Whenever I pick it up and think to work on it, I really have a good time working on it. It just doesn't feel like I get a lot of progress because there's so much stitching in it. Okay, well, I haven't stitched in well over a week. Probably almost, I don't know. we're going on 2 weeks here. I haven't been able to stitch. But I decided to pick up a very old WIP on 32. And it is the Prairie Schooler When Witches Go Riding. I had started this, well, I stitched this one, which I don't have with me. My daughter has it. But I stitched this one. I had the cardstock pattern from when it came out, and then they started going crazy on eBay, and I was like, well, I'm never going to do the big one. This was when before Prairie Schooler, when they were going to retire. Hoffman had not had we hadn't been told that Hoffman would have the patterns, and prices were outrageous, and I'm like, meh, I'll get rid of all the ones I don't think I'll stitch or I've already stitched. Some extra stitching money, so I did, and then of course I decided immediately that I wanted to do this and had to rebuy the pattern. So I had started it on 32. It's just on white right now. I'm gonna coffee dye it when it's done. And I haven't picked it up a lot in the last few years just because I don't want to go back to 2 strands. I feel like Prairie Schooler only looks good on, well, it doesn't only look good. It's sized for like 32. And if I go to 36 or 40, it's going to be so much smaller, and I really want to see it. So I feel like Prairie Schoolers, I should just suck it up and do them all in 32. So this is just white, like junky linen. I don't even think it's Weigart. I'm not sure. But when it's done, because it's all DMC, I'm going to either do walnut crystals or coffee and kind of prim it up and tone it down. I would love to get that one done this year and get it framed. I could do that by Halloween. I think I could. Okay. I pulled this one out. I may take this one with me to Hobby House. So for the needlework market, the online market or whatever, Scarlet House, Tanya has a ton of releases. She has some releases that were exclusives and then some new patterns, and they're, I think she's got 7, 8, 9. I don't know. She has a lot. So last year at the My Life's a Sampler retreat, this was our project from the Scarlet House. And it was done on Needle and Flax Dirty Teacup. And I started it and was very pumped. I was already signed up for the one this October because they're doing number 2 this October that I'm attending. And in my mind at the time, I thought, wouldn't it be great if I stitched it and had it done before the next one where she gives out a project? Well, whatever. Hasn't happened. That's what I have done. So I started in the middle because one thing that I do not love, and I don't know if I'm the only one, I'm sure not the only one, I don't like linen that's cut for a project. Okay, I just don't. And when I get a kit or a project where it's cut to the size, there's a lot of times I will start in the middle because I'm never really sure of the margins. And I just don't want to goof it up. So I started in the middle, which is good because that gets me right to the, geez, oh Pete, right to the house. So now everybody can buy this and probably stitch it and have it framed and hanging in their house long before I ever get to the bricks on the house. So, but I thought I would show that one since it is a new release and everybody can stitch it. And those are 103s. That's what came in our kit. Okay, so I've just got a few more. Doing good. So Liz, the Wandering Stitcher, I think it was around last Christmas. We were talking about the animal crackers that Stacey Nash puts out, and she had released the Weenie Dogs at the Country Sampler for one of their exclusives. I don't know, their holiday open house or something, which were really cute, but I was like, those aren't they're adorable, but there's so many animal crackers I want to do. We were chatting about it. And we had both decided to start Whitaker, which is a Christmas one. Did I get it done before Christmas? Oh, no, I did not. But I would love to get this finished for this year and send it to a finisher and be able to put it out, which would be super cute. And she's just released more animal crackers for the needlework market. So I have part of them done. this one, really, when I'm tired, I should just be going on it because all it is fill in. And I'm just getting to his pants, so there'll be more color. It called for an overdyed. It called for, God only knows. I don't know. Lordy. It called for an overdyed. And I thought, why am I going to stitch something solid on an overdyed? They're expensive. So this is just basic Zweigart. I think it's either light mocha or platinum. It's more brown. It's probably light mocha. But I wish I would have gone slightly darker because the white doesn't really pop. But then again, it's going to be cut all around here, so it's not going to matter in the long run. That's why I don't know if I'll do any of the animal crackers on an expensive linen. We'll see. We'll see. Sometimes you just have a strip or leftover that you don't know what to do with, and those would be great for animal crackers. But I didn't want to, I mean, there's fabric, I don't know. Well, there's not fabric. Here's the back of them. So I guess the back will be pretty pale. You know what? Just ignore what I just said. Go ahead, use overnight. I don't care. I don't know what I'll do for the next one. I think I want to do the orange cat one. He's got like overalls, and he's got like a little satchel. And, you know, who doesn't love a satchel? Okay. This one you've seen 8 billion times. I probably showed it on my last video. You're going to see it 8 billion more times. And then when it's finally finished, we have to have some sort of celebration. Because this is years in the making. So many people start Hawk Run Hollows, finish them, whatever. Not me, boy. I just start them and don't finish them yet. I take, you know, take half my life to finish these. So this is Houses of Hawk Run. This is 36 count. I think it's an antique ivory. All DMC. Okay, I don't know. I got all this crazy light here. So I've done that, 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 that. So let me show you. Golly. Okay. So this is the block that I've been working on. And it's almost done. There's a little mouse here, and I got to fill in the house and finish the words and then continue this border. And it will be done. I still have to finish filling in the middle block with black, but that's almost done. And then I have choices on which block I will start next, whether I will go this way or, this is what I like, choices, or go with the one over here. So I could just continue this way, or I could do two, you know, whatever. Now that it's all laid out, I can just go with whatever strikes my fancy. So this one, gosh, I don't know. This one I'm gonna have to save up to frame. Golly, that's gonna be pricey, but that's okay. I worked so long on it. There's no way in heck I'm not getting that one framed. I think, let's see, do I just have one more to show? Oh, look at that, one more to show. Okay. So, got that done. Oh my gosh, it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Stitching Pisa. Okay, so another one I started at some point this year because it's a new release from Teresa Kogut is Dwelling Place. I love it. I love the colors. I just love all of it. I had started this one. This one is on Needle and Flax Thornfield. And I don't have a lot. Oh, yay. See, one left. And Winston's going crazy. So I did that. And that's about all I've done. So it's just DMC, mostly DMC. It's called for, but she charts mostly in DMC with just, I think, 2 or 3 overdyes in it. And that one's actually very fun. Whenever I pull it out, I have a really good time stitching on it, and then I don't know why it goes away. So that's that. Now I don't know what to say other than I just wanted to show that I'm alive, that I have stitching, that I didn't forget that I do videos. I've just been too busy, but I also haven't quit doing videos, so hopefully whenever I get a chance, see, I can't promise anything because I break my promises all the time. Whenever I get a chance, I'm going to try and get on here. I would love to be on a schedule. Right now, everything's so hectic. I don't know if I can be on one. So whenever I can, I'll post a video. I have important stuff to say. I know the next few months are busy. I have in November, my mother-in-law will be staying here for like 5 weeks. There's going to be no video, that's for sure. So I'm going to try sometime in the month of September, maybe get one in between retreats in October, get a few more in, and then hopefully in December do some sort of Christmas video. And, you know, I'm trying. I will get more done. I didn't forget about you. I've had lots of really sweet messages wondering where the heck I was. Hopefully this wasn't too big of a mess. Okay, now we've talked about, darn dog. We've talked about a sign off. When I did my video with Liz in my hotel room, we didn't think of how to get off. I said something ridiculous like, may your stitches be plentiful. She did a royal sort of movement with it. And I've had people repeat that to me. I'm not doing a tagline. I'm not going to say, may your stitches be plentiful every time. All I will say is, good to see you all, even though I can't see you, but I talked to a lot of you. Good to see you. Glad I came on here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And when you say your prayers at night, just pray that I have the time in the next couple of months to come on here again and talk with you all. Just kidding. Don't waste prayers on that. That's ridiculous. Anyway, I will talk to you soon, hopefully with lots more stitching and lots more to show. And I hope you enjoyed seeing me again because I've missed doing this. So I will talk to you later. Bye.